Hi. Hello. Do you ever just have a day where nothing just goes the way you want it to? Today I had a plan. I had a planned out video. Today was supposed to be the highlight of my week, essentially. But from the moment I actually got behind the wheel, everything just seemed to go wrong. I'm really hesitant on making this video right now because I really don't want to display this side of me. I like to think of myself as a very encouraging person and also a very positive person. Someone who, if someone's having a bad day, I'll be the one to kind of coax them through their problem, encourage them to keep going, and look on the bright side. But when I'm having the bad day, it just rubs me the wrong way. And today just seemed like the one stick that you light on fire. And everything that goes wrong is another stick that's getting thrown onto that bonfire. And every time someone throws a little bit of tinder onto that fire, it just starts to grow even more and more until some idiot throws a Molotov cocktail on that fire and it explodes. That's another thing that went wrong right now. This camera, the battery, which was fully charged this morning, just went bad right now while I was filming. I did not use this camera all day, and now the battery just went bad. It's like all of a sudden, everything's just going wrong. So I had planned to go to the Estes Park Scottish Games, which was I had planned to go to the Estes Park Scottish Games, which here in Colorado apparently is the big one. In California we have the Pleasanton Games, which is the big one, which is kind of an international event. Almost, you can consider it an international event. They've got international bands from the UK, sometimes bands from Australia or bands from Canada come and perform at the games, along with some military bands, and it's kind of this really big event. Estes Park here is kind of the Pleasanton equivalent. But unfortunately, the day just did not pan out well. I had planned to get some really great footage of the military bands, of the pipe bands, hopefully the drum major competition, even though I myself wasn't going to compete at the games because I still don't have a uniform here. I wanted to go and cheer on the drum majors, let them know that I supported them, and eventually, maybe next year, I would have competed. But, well, you'll see. So let me take you back to this morning, to when you'll see that I was really revved up to go. I had woken up, keep in mind, this was the highlight of my week. I had woken up literally 4 hours early. I woke up at 4 in the morning. I usually on Saturdays will sleep in until 8 or 9 o'clock, but I woke up at 4. My usual time, I usually wake up during the weekday to get ready for work, because it was going to be a 2-hour drive for me from where I live up to northern Colorado to watch this Scottish Games competition. And you'll see that I was very revved up. I was really revved up to go, and I was excited. But as the day went on, it just started to unravel Because when you drive 2 hours, you sit 2 hours behind the wheel. Many of you know the pain of sitting more than an hour behind the wheel or going on a long drive. It's like there better be something good waiting for you at the end of that drive. And whatever is at the end of that drive could either make or break your trip. So let me take you back to the beginning of the day when I was really excited to go. Roll intro. What's going on, Drummies? It's Artie here. So today we are going on another adventure. We are going to Estes Park, Colorado. Estes Park, Colorado, home of the famous haunted Stanley Hotel. But that's not why we're going there. We are going there because it is Scotfest up in Estes Park, which is essentially the biggest Highland festival here in Colorado. I have not been there before. I have been doing some research on the internet of the Scottish Games. I think they do have a drum major competition up there. Unfortunately, I am not competing as I don't have a uniform to compete in. But I did bring my mace with me, as I learned from last time when I went to the other Scottish festival. I just want to have it there with me just in case I do want to spin. But join me today as we go on another adventure. So I will see you guys there. Now, if you remembered from my previous video, I did have to make a stop at the International Bank of Walmart. Because my bank, which is a credit union, is only based in my hometown in California. And I don't have one of these big national banks. So I usually will have to go to a store like Walmart and buy a really cheap item to get some cash back. Because I really don't like the fact that I gotta pay an ATM fee just to use my own money. But some background to that, to the day going bad, is maybe earlier in the week, my bank decided to upgrade me from one of these swipe debit cards to this chip card that everyone is so fascinated with right now. Now, the first time I got this card, I activated it, no problem. But for some reason, it would not accept my PIN. Keep in mind that this PIN that I use is the same PIN that I have been using for as long as I've been using an ATM card, as long as I've been using a debit card. And I know this PIN. It's a simple 4-digit PIN that I always use, and it's never changed. And the bank decided, you know, we're gonna upgrade you to this new card, which protects against fraud, protects against, fraudulent charges. Okay, great. Now, here's the thing. When I can't use my PIN, but I can use credit, so I just stick the card into the slot, I skip the PIN, and hit OK, and it goes through as credit, doesn't that kind of eliminate the two-factor authentication? Because if you can just if someone steals your card and just puts it into the slot they can just charge something without knowing your PIN, that's not really secure, is it? So I went on a tangent. So I needed cash. I go to this convenience store to buy some snacks for the way because it was gonna be a 2-hour drive. And I wanted to get some cash back, maybe about $50. Unfortunately, they can only do $20, which, okay, fine. So I tried to do $20 cash back. I put in my PIN, and it said incorrect PIN number. I figured maybe, now I've had my card for about 3 or 4 days. I figured maybe the system had to update to maybe sync with my PIN number. I don't know, maybe because I thought my card was too new that it wasn't synced to my PIN number yet. I don't know how the banks work. So I figured maybe it would work today. I put in my PIN, it wouldn't accept it. So I was in desperate need of cash. I was in desperate need of cash. So the lady at the cash register said, well, we have an ATM at the back, you can withdraw cash that way. I really don't like to use the ATM because if I have to pay $3 just to use my own money, I'd rather that $3 goes to something that I can use, like, I don't know, a pack of gum or some snacks. Not just $3 to go towards an ATM fee. So I figured I'm gonna bite the bullet. I'm gonna go to the ATM and withdraw my cash, and hell with it, $3, fine. Take it, I don't care. So I went to the ATM, put in my card, put in the PIN I've always used, and it still said it was incorrect. And I'm like, what the heck? So I decided, you know, I gave up. If I maybe go to a maybe there might be a Walmart down in Estes Park. I can probably go get cash that way. So I just gave up and left. I tried to call my bank to see what's the problem. But unfortunately, like I said, my bank is in my hometown, which is 1, in another state, and 2, in another time zone. So I am 1 hour ahead of their operating hours. So if I tried to call them when I had the problem, they would probably be closed. Keep in mind, it was probably 8:30 in the morning, which means it was 7:30 in the morning in my hometown. So knowing them on a Saturday, they're probably not even in operation. I did call them. I was getting the after hours business message. So I figured I'll try calling them later. That didn't really happen. So let's continue on with the journey. During the 2-hour drive, I got caught in pretty much 1 hour worth of traffic. I've been driving for 2 hours and I'm still only an hour out. So I'm still only an hour out, and right now I'm stuck in this really, really slow flow of traffic because they decided to do road work on a 2-way freeway. And right now I'm going an average of about 25 miles per hour. And you know that the traffic is horrible when a cyclist passes you twice. You know, in retrospect, I'm really glad I didn't compete today, because right now, if I was actually in the competition, if there was a competition, mind you, and if I was in it, I would be screwed right now, because looking at the clock, it looks like I won't be getting there until 11:10, and usually, with most competitions, dress inspection usually starts at around noon. That would usually only leave me an hour to getting from my car to the ground, getting registered, getting dressed, and cyclists passed me again. Getting dressed, getting my uniform together, and getting my butt out on the parade field. And I also heard that in some competitions, you actually, as a drum major competitor, you are required to actually march in mass bands, which I think is ridiculous, but I'm really glad that if that's the case today, I don't have to do that. I think my plan was to go here and just see how it is at this games, and the next year I probably will compete, but as of the moment, it seems that if I actually want to compete, I would probably have to leave the house at around 6 in the morning or probably 5 in the morning just to get there on time. I usually, just me, personally for me, I like to get to the games an hour or sometimes 2 hours before the competition starts, because I like to be able to have that time to get used to the parade field, get used to the competition zone, just, you know, get an overall feel of the actual competition area, because I like to be able to have the time to adjust. If I just go out there and then have no time to adjust, I usually will affect my performance. But you know, a lot of people are different. That's just what I do. Now I'm stuck at a dead stop right now. Oh, the bug's inside. Ugh, out, get out, get out, get out. I'm going an average right now of 0 miles an hour. There better be a good ass reason why you guys are fixing the road. Come on, let's go. I really want to honk my horn when I'm stuck in traffic, but then again, I feel like that's so cliche. Then again, what is it really gonna do? What are they gonna do if I honk my horn? Oh look, we're stopping again. How far is this damn thing? 1-lane road traffic ahead. Oh my god, that's so stupid. Fines double. Oh, they're serious. Be prepared to stop. Not in your life. Speed limit 30, but I'm going freaking 15 miles an hour. You better not stop me. You better not stop me. You know, you'd think that my GPS would find an alternate route around this damn thing. Oh my god. Why are you guys stopping? No! Go! 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 All this traffic just to repave a damn road. I mean, the road's working fine. Why you gotta repave it now? You could repave it, I don't know, at night when there's like no traffic at all. But I don't know. That's just me thinking logically. But then again, logic doesn't really matter. I really feel bad for the cyclists on these roads because they actually have to stop. They actually have to stop. Like, it's not like, you know, sometimes I know that in some states, some cyclists can be complete jerks and just go right past the stop sign, but they actually will stop. In here, they actually do stop with the traffic, which is, I mean, I admire that, but I just feel really bad for them because they have to literally stand there in the sun with their bike for the entire time that the road construction crew stops them. Okay, good. Now we got some speed now. Great. I won't get there until 11:16. Oh, bicyclist. That's a problem with traffic on a 2-lane highway, is you can't see the cyclists on the side of the road because now we're all like bumper to bumper driving 50 miles an hour. Okay, so we're stuck in traffic again, and we're about 20 minutes out. Now the thing is that I wanted to get some really good footage of the drive because I felt like it was right now I'm driving through this really, let me roll up the window because you can't hear me. I'm driving through this really beautiful mountain pass, but one, I can't really pay attention to the camera because because the camera will probably fly off my dashboard. And two, for some reason, if I see something that looks really cool, like really cool landscape or a really cool like sunset or whatever, and I bring up my camera doesn't do justice to it. Or you ever have that feeling, or you ever have that problem? Do you ever have the problem when you see something really cool, like a really cool sunset or a really cool mountain range or something that looks really cool to your eyes, but you bring out your camera and your camera just makes it look like absolute crap? That's how I felt like when I was driving. I see this really cool mountain in the distance, and the camera doesn't really pick it up that well. So I figured, you know what, I don't really see the point of that. But right now, I'm stuck in traffic again. We're about less than 20 minutes out, and right now I'm at a dead stop right now. Look at this. Dead stop. I don't know if it's safe to assume that all these people are heading to Scottish Games, but there's a dog right there. Oh. Anyway, opposite side traffic. Well, non-existent traffic on the opposite side. But look at this. You see? I don't know if you can see this landscape behind me. It looks really cool when I look at it, but I don't know if it looks really cool if you guys look at it. I mean, hi, doggy. I kind of wish the fairgrounds was kind of specific of whether or not I could bring my dogs with me, because the last games that I went to, you were allowed to bring your dogs. And if I had known that, I probably would have brought Lucy and Leia with me. But I don't want to drive 2 hours and get to the Scottish Games today and find out I wouldn't be able to take them into the park. So I had to leave them at home, unfortunately. Hopefully they don't tear up my house. But this traffic, oh my God! Now, after around a 2.5 hour drive, I want to say almost 3 hour drive, I made it to Estes Park. I got to the games, and it was literally a 30-minute traffic jam to get into parking. Once I finally got to parking, there was a $10 parking fee. Also, I forgot to mention that even though I wasn't able to withdraw cash, I did have a $50 bill with me. This $50 bill was literally the only thing that I would be able to use the entire day. And I had to let that $50 bill stretch out. because I could not get cash. So let's go back to the clip. So I reluctantly gave my $50 to the parking attendant because you know what? $10, I would rather park my car in the games parking lot, making sure that my car was safe. So there's $10 that I had to give up. Now I had $40 left. So I parked my car. It was literally a trek from my car to the front gate, and it wasn't really, I wouldn't say it wasn't really a horrible walk, but it was a walk. I really wish I would have brought a skateboard or a bike. Okay, that was by far one of the worst drives I ever had to make just to go to a Scottish Games, but now I gotta find a bathroom. You know, this games really should have advertised, you know, park your car, but bring a bike, because it's a walk to the damn fairgrounds. Oh, that's a walk from the parking lot to the main gate. Now, getting to the gate, there was the entry fee. The fee to get into the games was $30. $30 to get into the games. In hindsight, I probably should have bought my ticket early, but then again, I wasn't really sure if I was going to be going to these games or not. But $30 to get into the games. So that's $10 for parking, $30 for the games. That left me with just $10 for the entire day. That meant that $10 was to get me food and, I don't know, maybe a souvenir. But weighing the difference, you know, it was pretty much food or a useless trinket. Food or a useless trinket. So, looking at the food, of course, if you've ever been to Scottish Games, food can get pretty expensive. So I go to the games. I notice they're starting the opening ceremony. They've got the bands lined up, the mass bands lined up. They've got the clans lined up. They've got the Marine band and the Canadian pipe band lined up, ready to go, and I'm excited. see some drum majors actually that are kind of like lining up, and I figure, you know what, the way that they're acting, you'd think that they're competitors. So I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful there's going to be a Scottish Games competition today. But unfortunately, I asked the guy. So I confronted one of the drum majors, who was leading the pipe bands, and I asked him if there was going to be a Scottish Games competition. Or I actually asked him if he was competing today. And he said that he wasn't competing today. There is no competition. And he said that the games hadn't held a drum major competition in the last 10 years. And I was like, what? On the website of the Estes Park Scottish Games, there was literally, for the solo competitions, solo piping, solo drumming, drum major. The funny thing was, when I tried to check on the information to signing up for the drum major competition, there wasn't really any information. It was all piping and drumming. I tried to email the games committee to see if they were holding a competition. I emailed them 2 weeks in advance asking them, will you be having a drum major competition? I got an auto reply back saying that the individual who was responsible for these questions was out of the office and at the games, and I will respond back as soon as I get back. That was 2 weeks prior to the games. From the day that I emailed them to the day of the games, nobody had responded back. So I asked one of the Scottish... So the two drum majors that I asked, about the competition that has happened, unfortunately, they used to compete back at the games several years ago. Now, the one highlight of this entire day was that one drum major that actually... The one highlight of that entire day, of my entire day, was one of the drum majors actually recognized me from my videos. He said, he just looked at me and goes, do you make YouTube videos? And I go, yeah, I do. He goes, I know you. You're the guy who spins the mace. And that was literally like the highlight of my day, because someone recognized me from my videos. And we got to talking and chatting, and then they pointed me to the direction of the pipe band tent, or the pipe band booth, which I eagerly made my way to the pipe band booth, hopefully seeing that they might have one, or maybe give me some information on the drum major competition. I spoke to a gentleman there who said, oh yeah, we're having a pipe band competition tomorrow morning. To me, what? What? You're having I literally drove 2 hours here to the games. It's not in the schedule. Now, if I wanted to watch a drum major competition, I would have to drive 2 hours back home, get up tomorrow, drive 2 hours back on Sunday to watch a competition in the morning, then drive 2 hours back home and get some form of weekend before I have to go back to work on Monday. There was no way I was doing that. Finally, the actual gentleman who the drum majors recommended me to talk to came, and he said, unfortunately, that they haven't been able to hold a competition for the past several years because, one, they had trouble getting a judge, and two, not a lot of people signed up for it, which was kind of disheartening because this is the big Scottish Games in Colorado, and the games that I went to prior to these games said that there was hopefully going to be games. There was hopefully going to be a drum major competition at these games today. Now, they didn't say that there was one. They said there was more likely going to be one. And people I've talked to here in Colorado said, yeah, that's the one that has the drum major competition. But unfortunately, they haven't had one in the past 10 years. So, literally, from that point on, everything just started to unravel. Yeah, so bad news, guys. Apparently, this games doesn't have a drum major competition, and they haven't had one for the past 10 years due to lack of interest. So, literally, I made a 2-hour drive, and there's no drum major competition. But, I mean, oh well. guess my thing right now is just to either enjoy the games or find a grassy area that I can just spin in. Let them know that I actually am interested in a competition up here. But that just sucks that there's no competition up here in Colorado. I mean, the nearest place that I probably have to drive down to would literally be Utah, which that's still a drive for me. But I don't know. Let's see if I can find a grassy area that I can at least like just practice my mace at. Sorry guys. I had planned to get some great footage at the games, and it was just pretty much me just aimlessly wandering the games. So, no competition. My inspiration for making a 2-hour drive is gone. So I wandered the games lost and confused, looking at, you know, the happy faces of people that there's stuff literally for them. There's a dancing booth for the Highland dancers. There's a tent. There's a competition for the pipers. There's solo competitions for the solo drummers. There's solo competitions for the solo pipers. There's athletics for the Highland athletics. There's beer for the drunks. There's stuff for the kiddies. And there's vendors. Unfortunately, I only had $10 in my pocket. They had ATMs that I could use, but I couldn't use it because my PIN doesn't work with my new debit card. And one might argue you could use your debit card at the vendors, but personally, I don't like to use my debit card at vendor booths. It's just my own personal preference. So wandering around, literally aimlessly, I found like one grassy area. I started spinning, and I unpacked my mace, I started spinning, and literally I just felt out of place there. Like I felt like I didn't belong, because there was nothing for me. Nothing for the lone drum major who doesn't have a pipe band to play with, who doesn't have a competition to go to here in the state of Colorado. So I figured, you know what? I've been here long enough. I might as well leave. So there's literally $30. Actually, there's literally $40 wasted on parking and gate entry fee. I'm legit pissed. 2-hour freaking drive and not even a drum major competition. Funny thing is, there were like 5 drum majors here, and they've all competed in the past, but apparently they stopped holding the competition because not a lot of people were signing up. I think that even if you don't have a bunch of people sign up, I think you should at least have the option of holding it, not just cancel it altogether, because you never know when people will show up. And what makes me even more aggravated is that this is the largest, I think this is the largest one in Colorado, and they don't even have a drum major competition, which is ridiculous. I don't know. Unfortunately, I think the only way I'll be able to compete again is to go to Utah, which is literally the nearest one for me, or just go back to California. I didn't even bother staying for the pipe band competition. I didn't even bother staying for the closing ceremonies. Okay, so after good, I want to say 2-3 hours of walking around, I decided to call it quits. Really, there was nothing for me there. There was really nothing for me there. Granted, yeah, I could have gotten stuff for my uniform, but I mean, I don't know, I really didn't feel like spending money today, and I just really wanted to get some footage of, if there was a drum major competition today, I wanted to get some footage for you guys of the competitors and then showcase them on my channel. But it was unfortunate that they don't have any, and which was a bummer, because there were like 5 drum majors there of pipe bands, and I talked to them, and they actually did compete in the past. Like, there was a competition here, but unfortunately, I guess due to lack of participants, they decided to just go ahead and cancel it. And they said they haven't had a drum major competition here in about 10 years, which was a bummer, because it's just a shame that they had to cancel a competition just because there was a lack of support and they couldn't find a judge, which leads me to believe that drum majoring is kind of dying in this part of the United States. And it's just disappointing to me, because I felt like, you know, if it was a Scottish Gathering and Games, they would have at least like a competition here, but I don't know. So I'm sorry I couldn't get you guys any good footage of competitors. To the drum major who actually said hi to me and actually recognized me from my YouTube channel, I think you're awesome. And hopefully, if we can get enough support, we can probably get another competition here in Estes Park, Colorado. So until next time, guys, I'll see. So this pretty much covers the end of this follow me around vlog. Since I'm in Estes Park, I'm probably gonna go up to the Stanley Hotel and make friends with the ghosts up there. So until next time, guys, I'll see you guys later.